And welcome back to the Delaware Boys Nice Football Podcast. Ryan, say what's up to the people.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. Glad to be back. Normally we stream on Tuesdays. Got some busy schedules. We're going right before Thursday Night Football, baby. So this will be a quick one. We're just going to knock out a recap of week one, kind of where we're at with players, disappointments, and ups and downs of everybody. So, yeah. Steven, got anything for the people?
Yeah. I'm excited to be here talking football with you and with everybody that's going to be listening tonight. I do want to say one thing, man. Your loved ones, always remember, you never know when it'll be the last time you see them. So hug them tight, tell them you love them. Always make sure they know how much they're worth. So it's been a rough couple of days here on my side. So, but I just want to tell you guys that it's not all about football. Obviously, this is what we do, but not everything's about football. There are more important things to life than just football. So, yeah, but let's jump into it, baby. Week one, there were some things I liked to see. There was a lot of things that shocked me, and then of course we have the gruesome injuries that we have to talk about. Let's knock out the injuries first. I do want to say before we talk about these injuries that we did produce our waiver wire additions for week one. So there are a lot of additions on this waiver wire that we think can help you replace these guys. Now, if we're playing Superflex, the first person I want to talk about is kind of hard to replace. In Superflex, if you're playing 10 to 12 man leagues, there's not, if you're playing 12, there's not, 3 QBs apiece. There's not 36 QBs in the league.
Right.
So this is tough. If you're in a 1 QB league, you can kind of manage it a little better. Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers. There were conflicting reports. You were at my house that night. We were watching the game. We were very excited, man. Jets fans were excited. And they pulled out the victory. Let's not get it twisted. They did win that game.
They somehow won, but
by the way, Breece Hall is back. Welcome back, baby.
All right. Let's not stray away from Aaron Rodgers. We got a big
4 snaps in, man. We have a torn Achilles. There were conflicting reports, though, whether it was an ankle, then you saw his calf pop, then you saw him in a boot. It came through, confirmed Aaron Rodgers has a torn Achilles.
Yeah, I was feeling not terrible about it. I mean, it didn't really look that bad on like the actual play, but as soon as I saw that boot, I was like, well, there he goes. Never want to see a boot. So it's heartbreaking, especially for Jets fans. Any Jets fans out there listening, can't get any worse than this. It's not only a loss for the Jets. I think it's a loss for football in general. Like not having Aaron Rodgers out there is tough for fantasy and in real life.
I messaged Jared. We used his quote a couple of weeks ago about the excitement for Jets fans, and he said, and I quote, he said, "We just can't have anything that's fucking nice in our life." So it's rough, man. Like I said, if you're playing in a 1 QB league, you're probably looking at QBs. Yeah. You're probably looking at lower end QBs that didn't play well. I'm assuming Kenny Pickett is possibly available after the bad San Fran game. You got Kenny Pickett in a 1 QB. I'm assuming like possibly Derek Carr. Obviously, I know Josh Dobbs is available. I know Zach Wilson.
Same thing like Brock Purdy type guys. Like there's guys
after week one, I don't think Purdy's available anywhere.
Really? You think so? I'm in a few 1 QB leagues. He's still sitting on the waiver wire.
Yeah, Purdy played lights out. I'm assuming like Tannehill, guys like that. Mac Jones. Even though Mac Jones had a pretty – I'm just saying, like, if you need another bench guy, those are the guys. But unfortunately, in Superflex guys, especially if you're playing in a deeper league, like a 12-man league, you're not going to be able to replace him. You're not. It's just one of those things. Unless you outbid somebody on Zach Wilson.
And I wouldn't even wager that. I mean, I think they'd probably bring in I don't know. They seem to believe in Zach Wilson. How long does that last before they pick up a vet? I mean, me personally, bring in Jameis Winston, call it a year.
I agree. You already won up in the division, man. That's a huge divisional win. Your defense played lights out against an elite Josh Allen. Why not?
Yeah.
You bring in all these older vets. I mean, you got Randall Cobb. You got Alan Lazard. You brought all these guys over with Aaron Rodgers. You got a hell of a 1-2 punch at the running back position. Might as well.
Yeah, they got to find a way to get a better quarterback because they're in like win right now, so might as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, from fantasy standpoint, if you're sitting in like 12+ man leagues, you're probably screwed the position. If you're lucky enough to have a QB3, a good QB3. You better hope that one stays healthy because after that, I mean, you're looking at probably starting a position player in your super flex. So
I mean, plus you got to look into bye weeks as well. Bye weeks are a bitch.
Yeah.
So, the next one I want to talk about another Achilles. Let's talk about J.K. Dobbins.
He can't catch a break, man. Breaks my heart.
He can't catch a break, man. It sucks. And like I say this, and like obviously this is a Steelers fan talking about a Ravens player. J.K. Dobbins offered a lot of elite explosiveness, in the league. And he came into his rookie year with high expectations, exceeded any expectations that I think you and I had for him as a third-round pick. Comes in, obviously that brutal injury last year in training camp. 2 years ago in training camp, coming back into last year, didn't look himself. Down the stretch, over 5 yards of carry in the playoff game he played. He looked good. We were excited about him in year 2. Or year 3, comes out, scores a touchdown or 2 touchdowns last week. Played very well. And then next thing we know, we're talking about an Achilles injury. The thing I want to say here, the Ravens, how they replaced their running backs are weird. They're very weird. I mean, do you remember the Devontae Freeman run, the Latavius Murray run? These guys come up with the practice squad. But I don't think you have to go too far to search for the Ravens replacement running back.
I mean, before we get into replacement running backs for J.K. Dobbins, if you're an owner of him, are you done with him? Like, is this Achilles? Is this like the dagger in the back, or you think he's still?
Oh yeah.
So, like I'm saying, like I've seen some trades,
we're talking about a complete
knee
replacement. Complete knee replacement. Then we had knee cleanup surgery the year after, week 4.
Yep.
Going into the end of last year, which he didn't look 100%. Now we're talking about an Achilles. I mean, we're talking about like dagger after dagger after dagger, like that. And I sold my last share. My last share was sold in your league, so I have no ties to the situation anymore.
Right.
But to own Dobbins, in my opinion, at this point in his career, is pointless.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, as far as a dynasty standpoint goes, I think he's pretty close to that. One, scramble to get any draft value that anybody can get, like even a third for him, I think is going to be okay. If not, I don't know, dude. I mean, keep him on IR. Maybe you pique some interest, but I don't think that he's going to play meaningful football ever again. Especially given the fact that, like, this is his contract year, so this is him earning his money, and now that's out the window too. So,
you know my honest opinion? I think he takes a Deontay Foreman type role.
Yeah, like
I'll be honest with you when I say that. I'm talking about the backup role to Derrick Henry, where Deontay Foreman had to earn meaningful playing time because Derrick Henry literally broke his foot in half. I think he's a backup going to come in on a league veteran salary. Nothing crazy, obviously. I mean, granted, the Ravens might give him a little bit of cash just to be, for service. But I doubt it. This is a business. This isn't,
Yeah, right.
This isn't a Ryan Shazier. This isn't a Ryan Shazier type of situation.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, the rough thing is like, I don't know. I lost my train of thought, but he's pretty much done. I feel horrible about it, especially like the running back market the way it is now. They're not paying people as it is. Like you got guys like, I mean, given they're older, like Kareem Hunt and Fournette, who like maybe should be on a roster, like nowhere to be found. It took a while for Dalvin Cook to find a role. Like, I don't know. It's going to be tough for him.
Yeah, but like I said, I don't think you have to go too far to find the Ravens replacement running back. You can look at the 2 splits. Last week, Justice Hill had 8 carries for 9 yards, but 2 touchdowns. But it's the efficiency that gets me. I never liked Justice Hill coming back from his Achilles injury either. Yes, Gus Edwards is a 28-year-old running back who's had a significant ACL injury as well. But this is the guy that's stuck around for this running back room. He's always been there. He's been there for what? This is year 5 now, maybe year 6. I have to go back and look off the top of my head. But when anything's happened, Gus Bus was always there.
Right.
No question.
We touched on him in our waiver wire ads.
Yeah.
Just for the record, he career 5 yard per carry guy, 5.1 to be exact. To see people adding Justice Hill on the waiver wire more so than Gus Edwards, whatever you want to call him. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't like it. I think if anything, like you said before, they have a tendency to replace with vets. They have Melvin Gordon that they called up from the practice squad. I could see them adding a guy. If one of those vets entered the room, I think you see Justice Hill completely disappear, and whoever the vet and Gus Edwards will probably run the backfield.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason why I'm not in on Justice Hill. The 2 touchdowns are nice, but I think it's fluky.
Yeah, I think it was a fluky game. Obviously, touchdowns are hard to call. But give me Gus Edwards, 9 carries, 40 yards last week. Just something to pay attention to. Now you're going to walk into a room with really no running back competition. Obviously, me and you aren't worried about a 30-year-old Melvin Gordon. We're not worried about a Justice Hill either. To be honest with you, I'm going to tell you this. I think this opens up. I think this just lets Lamar have more free reign. I really do. He only had 6 carries the other day.
I mean, he's definitely going to go. I mean, he has to have free reign now at this point. But I think it opens up things for the offense or like the passing game as well. Like you saw Zay Flowers flash. I mean, OBJ even had a pretty good catch in that game. I think you can kind of like look at this. Right. Mark Andrews is back. Like maybe they more depend on the pass with Monken in his offense.
Yeah, and that I we'll talk more about Zay Flowers later on in different podcasts. But like it just Mark Andrews is back. Let's just say that. Yeah. He's coming back. So
not to stray too far from the injuries, but yeah.
So, but so like my guy here is obviously going to be Gus Edwards. If I'm buying anybody from this running back room, last injury, it's tough because I had to watch it. Sucks.
Yeah.
Deontay Johnson, hamstring injury, possible partial tear, 4 to 6 week out. I saw conflicting reports where people are like, yeah, he's day to day. He's not day to day.
No, I can't play around the hamstring, even if it is just slightly tweaked. I don't know. It's not something you want to play with. A complete tear is just
it's about a 4 to 6 week injury.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Obviously our wide receiver room is pretty deep as far as the depth. Like you have Allen Robinson there, you have Calvin Austin. You still got Pickens. You got 2 tight end sets with Darnell Washington, Pat Freiermuth. You got the running backs out of the backfield. I just think this speaks to the volumes I've been saying all along. Buy into George Pickens.
I mean, I don't want to say that upon an injury, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of like you have to buy in before stuff like this does happen. Without Deontay, I think that the Steelers are probably going to be okay as far as the team standpoint, but for fantasy-wise, I mean, Deontay is pretty easy to replace, probably by a backup receiver, to be honest with you.
I don't know if he's easy to replace. We're talking about a guy with elite level route running and the ability to get open in all facets. I don't think he's easy to replace at all.
I mean, and like, can you honestly say on any of your teams? I know I can. And when I do own him, he's on my bench. Is there any league where you're like starting him as a flex or wide receiver 3?
Yeah, my 18-team
guillotine
league.
Okay, 18-man guillotine league's a different story. But like in your typical league, Deontay's probably not a starter.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think I own Deontay anywhere.
Yeah, I own him in one league.
I own a lot of George Pickens. As you know. I don't think I own one single share of Deontay.
Yeah. But I mean, all this means is Pickens is going to get more play time, and even maybe Allen Robinson sneak back in somehow. But
honestly, I'm hoping we get Calvin Austin involved. I'm very big on Calvin Austin. I was very big on the speed. I was very big on the ability to stretch the field. I was very big on him as just like a playmaker type guy, get the ball in his hands, watch him work in space type of thing. Obviously, Allen Robinson, another big body, but you already possess Pat Freiermuth across the middle. Pat Freiermuth is a huge third down target, huge body. Darnell Washington, another huge body guy. Pickens, another huge body guy. A lot of these guys, like it's pick a spot, get to it, and turn around and get the ball in your hands. These guys aren't huge like separators. You know what I mean? They never have been. They play the 50-50 ball. I need somebody with speed on this roster. I need somebody to take the top off. I need somebody, you know what I mean? I need somebody to break it open.
Yeah.
And that's Calvin Austin. I hope that he gets more burn. I'm a big Calvin Austin fan.
I like Calvin Austin. He just seems like a boom or
He's a
bust
deep.
type
He's a
guy.
deep target. He's a deep. He's a
Yeah.
deep dart thrower.
Hmm.
That's what he is. But as a Steelers fan, we get excited for guys like Calvin Austin.
You guys do a pretty good job outside of Claypool and scouting receivers.
Hey, we still traded him for the 32nd pick, which was Joey Porter Jr.
It's a great trade. Great trade.
um, but like anyway, like we addressed the waiver wire additions. We wrote an article. It is posted up on our Twitter, RPO's Twitter as well. Huge reviews, by the way, huge retweets, huge likes. Very appreciative of that. So, we talked about the negative things. Let's get into some week one recaps that we thought need to be addressed. I want to start. I want to start with the fact that I do not fucking understand Arthur Smith at all.
Oh, this was my talking point, man. Come on, bro.
At all, bro. This is my big thing. I watched this. I watched it. Like, I know the run game was working. I know Ty Algier averaged over 5 yards a carry with 15 carries. I know Bijan Robinson had 10 carries and 6 catches and looked great. Scored his first NFL touchdown. I know this. But you spent back-to-back first-round draft picks on Kyle Pitts and Drake London.
Nowhere to be found.
Nowhere to be found. Kyle Pitts, 2 catches, 46 yards. Drake London, 0.
One target.
Goose.
One target is so concerning, especially for a talent like Drake London, who I think is a good receiver.
Of course.
I don't know what do you on your like panic level, where are you at with Drake London? I mean, Kyle Pitts seems to kind of get his own, but like I think I'm freaking out if I'm a Drake London owner, especially given the fact he's kind of driven like a high round value in these startups.
So redraft, obviously, my panic level, we're here. We're at a 10. We're at like an 8, 9, 10. We're in that range. Dynasty, I'm at like a 5. I'm mid-level. I think, but the thing is like, I've seen Drake London. I've seen Drake London last year demand a 29% target share. I've seen Drake London average over 14 yards per catch. I've seen Drake London show you elite peripherals. I've seen that. I know that's in him. I know that's here.
Yeah.
That's safe. He's a safe guy when it comes to the elite level talent. But if he's not getting a burn, he's gonna have to ride my bench. And that just means the value is going to decrease. But there's always going to be that opportunity to buy low as well on players like this, which I like. I've always liked Drake London. I've always been a big fan of Drake London. And I just think, like I said, it's an unfortunate situation.
Right. I don't know. I'm at like a panic level, like a 6 or 7. Because, I mean, like, to me, like, he'll have his games, but, like, with them rushing the ball, and kind of like my talking point was going to be Bijan and Algier both getting work, with them rushing the ball so much, and Desmond Ridder, even when he is throwing it, having them be little dump off routes. I think he averaged like 7 or 8 yards per catch for the team. Not ideal. So even when London does get the ball, it's not for any significant yardage. I'm panicking until they can get a new quarterback. I mean, if I'm rebuilding, I'll probably buy him. But if I'm trying to win and Drake London is on my starting roster, I'm trying to move him for whatever I can.
I don't think his value's dropped after one game.
It scares me, dude.
People
rough.
are panicking. Like, I see some panic amongst the fantasy community, but I think it's just one you just got to relax on.
It's going to be tough with this offense. It's going to be a waiting game is what it is. Just depends on whether you want to wait or not.
He's 22. He's 22.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. But, like, how many, like, was it 24, 25 before he gets, like, an actual quarterback?
I mean, at the end of the day, like, I think it's just a coaching change is all it takes. That's all it takes.
I mean, you might be right on that, but.
Well, I mean, the thing is, though, is they won the game.
I was about to say the same thing. They won. So, like, even Desmond Ridder on a quote today said, I don't care what we're doing on offense. I don't care about stats as long as we win games. As a London and Pitts owner, that I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, Arthur Smith.
I don't want to hear that.
Arthur Smith's like giving us all fantasy analysts the middle finger, and he's like, "Ha, bitches."
You got that no shit, boy.
But yeah, that was one of the points I wanted to cover. I'm sure you got a couple that you want to jump into as well.
Oh well, the one of the bigger ones is like kind of just touched on it just a second ago, so I'll get it done and over with. Is like I think until you can kind of see Bijan to really take over this role, I think you can kind of see Ty Algier find some value for you early on in the
Yeah,
season.
yeah,
Because, like, I mean, no, he's not going to get you 29 points a week and 2 touchdowns. And he's not going to do that every week, week in and week out. But I think the touches are still going to be there for him. He was a very efficient runner. Looked better than I expected. Anybody, I think, that owns Algier expected to. So I'll be interested to see how that goes going forward.
yeah. So, um, sorry, had to answer a message, but yeah, I'm actually writing an article about this right now about backfields that I think with the split usage have a actually have a positive impact for your fantasy team. Guys like Bijan, guys, and Ty Algier here. Remember, the backfield snap percentages were split pretty evenly. We're talking about
Yeah.
Bijan at 56% and the rest going to Ty Algier. On top of that, Ty Algier had 15 carries. Bijan had 16 touches. Any running back that's getting 15 to 17 touches in an elite rushing style offense that Arthur
Right.
Smith possesses, I'm good with.
Mm-hmm.
People aren't talking. People are talking about the huge highlight reel touchdown that Bijan had. Beautiful touchdown. Beautiful.
Amazing. Yes.
Amazing touchdown. He's an elite level talent. But on top of the fact, please don't look over the fact that Ty Algier averaged over 5.8 yards per carry with 15 carries.
Yeah.
Arthur Smith, any running back Arthur Smith has in his backfield is gold. It's just what it is. That's what he does. This is
Right.
what he does. I think Ty Algier should be talking about as a low running back too, flex talk every week. He should.
Should we see
The
otherwise?
running
You're
back,
absolutely right.
the running back landscape is in shambles
Yeah.
right now. It's in shambles. You just lost Dobbins. Antonio Gibson didn't get any burn that you thought he was going to get. AJ Dillon, he's a top 25 running back, looked like shit.
Terrible. Yeah. Not.
Austin Eckler has an ankle injury. With Josh Kelly splitting time in the backfield last week. I mean, we can keep going down the list, but
Running
but
back is very bleak.
if you're finding these gold
Yeah.
gems, snag them up.
Right.
It's a good buy. He's a good player.
And just to transition into that, the main thing I want to talk about in this podcast, and this is like not us gloating, but we've been very much on the side of like don't really worry about the rookies. Week 1, Ken Walker, who was supposed to get his job partially taken by Charbonnet, played great. Same thing with Travis Etienne. Everybody worried about Tank Bigsby. He still played great. And you saw both those rookies kind of like be very much so a secondary role.
Travis Etienne played 80%.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's like just a lesson to all you guys out there. Don't initial reaction to drafting guys is always tough. I get that them drafting somebody means that they're going to lose a little bit, but if you think about it, the Seahawks backfield and the Jags backfield both had zero backup options for those guys. So if they lost Etienne, they were looking at Snoop Connor, and if the Seahawks lost Ken Walker, they were looking at DJ Dallas. So like obviously that's not the situation you want to be in as a franchise if your RB1 goes down. So I don't know. I'm just glad that they still get to have the roles that they had last year.
Hey, ETN, 5 sneaky catches.
Don't let them know.
Don't let them know, baby. 80% of the snaps, high-powered offense. Fire up Travis Etienne. I tried telling you boys. Don't worry. And then I told you my running back hate list. Zach Charbonnet was on that motherfucker. I tried to tell you.
I've always hated the way he ran. He won't make it. I've always said that.
Ken Walker's a monster.
Just trust the studs. Trust the studs.
But anyway, and my last point I wanted to bring up. My last thing I wanted to say about the week 1. Welcome Puka Nacua. Welcome.
The fab darling of the year, maybe?
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. Oh, no doubt. I don't even, dude, the fab darling. That's actually about to go be his nickname in all my draft spots. Because I have him everywhere. I'm a huge Puka fan. I mean, we're talking about a monster game. Monster game. It was fun to watch. I mean, think about the talent that we're talking about here. Van Jefferson. What has he ever really done in the NFL? Nothing. Tutu
2-2.
Atwell. We're talking about a guy that's buried on the depth chart. Ben Skoranek, another guy who's buried on the depth chart.
Tyler Higbee?
We're talking about Tyler Higbee. Now, granted, Tyler Higbee, Tyler Higbee had 8 targets in the game. That's fine. I mean, that's not bad. But Puka Nacua, another guy I'm huge on. We're talking about 15 targets.
Yeah, 15 targets.
Almost a $120.
Yeah. I mean, he absolutely balled. It seemed like he played the Cooper Cup role that night.
He did. And
he did just fine. He found his spots. As a rookie in his first game, it's amazing. I think he fits very well into the McVay offense. I think you're going to see this until Cooper Kupp comes back.
And honestly, look at the wide receiver finishes when he played with Robert Woods. Look at Bobby Trees and him when they played together.
Yeah.
Multiple years of top 15, top 20 production from both. It's possible that this is a relevant thing. At the end of the day, am I saying that he's going to get 15 targets, 10 catches, $120? And no, I'm not saying that. No. But also remember this too. Cooper Kupp is almost 30 years old. Cooper Kupp was in Minnesota talking to a hamstring specialist. At 30 years old, we're on the brink of the edge.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want my wide receiver 1 talking to a hamstring specialist. That is not what I want.
Yeah.
These are major red flags when it comes to Cooper Kupp. And if you're buying and if you have him in a dynasty league, you need to trade him. Now, granted, the Rams are about to fall off the deep end anyway. We're talking about 36 year old.
It's gonna be
no
rough.
Draft cap. Yeah. It's bad. But Puka Nacua is the guy you want to hold long term. I'm a big fan. You got him really cheap last year in your rookie drafts. He was going like 4th round. If you were able to snag him, congratulations. Hold on to him.
Hold the line. So here's my only thing. I've seen this argument across Twitter, and I'm a big Nacua guy. Thanks to you as well. I own a few of them. A lot of people kind of compare him and his start to Travis Fulgham from the Eagles a couple of years back when he bursted onto the scene and then kind of disappeared. Do you kind of see that same thing happening with Nacua, or do you think that he can beat these?
So we're talking about a guy obviously played at BYU, not a huge recognized school outside of the Zach Wilson draft pick. I get it. But we're talking about Travis Fulgham. We're talking about a guy that undrafted, was bagging groceries at Wawa, got a phone call because the Eagles lost 3 wide receivers in one game. Him and Greg Ward. You remember Greg Ward?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. That's what we were talking about, bro. We were running Travis Fulgham, Greg Ward. And bro, I don't know what you want me to tell you.
Yeah. I mean, no, you're right. But it's kind of a similar situation where, like, he's the only receiver of talent.
Right. It's a little different. I get it. But at the end of the day, I was ranting and raving for 4 months. I'm talking about
holding ground.
Holding ground. I told you, like big guy, huge 50-50 possession guy, strong, boundary to boundary wide receiver. BYU, they got the ball in his hands in many of options, whether it be from the jet sweeps, whether it be out of the backfield, whether it be at the bubble screens at the line of scrimmage. And he plays strong. I loved his talent. I think they're completely different situations. I think Puka is going to be a huge buy. At this point, obviously, I've seen him go for like second-round picks in 2024. I get it where you would be like, oh, man, I just upgraded 2 rounds worth of value in one game for a player. Okay. But if you believe in it, hold. You don't have to justify anything to anybody.
Yeah.
I've always believed. He's on 7+ of my dynasty teams on my taxi last week. And he's now activated in all of my leagues. He is now activated. Taxi squad, locked in. He's on
bang him to the big leagues. You want to just do kind of like since we're coming up in the game, you want to do a few rapid fire like panic guys that didn't play well. Like, for example, like how worried are we with Justin Fields and DJ Moore as like a combo? It's one of the higher percentage of drafted stacks in fantasy football this year.
0.
Not worried. T. Higgins, Joe Burrow, not worried. Jahmyr Gibbs, not worried at all.
I'm gonna be honest with you. The elite peripherals that he's shown, 7 carries, 2 catches, 9 total touches, 6 broken tackles. It looks really good in limited spaces and limited fashions. But I'm telling you, man, there's something to the Jamal Williams role that happened last year. You see the
Right.
same thing with David Montgomery this year.
Mm.
I do think that Jameer Gibbs offers the elite talent to produce on limited touches, kind of like an Alvin Kamara type role in his
Right.
first year out of Tennessee. But his ADP was so elevated going into the year, was so elevated. I wish it would have dropped another round. I'm going to be
Right.
honest with you. The elevation of his ADP was crazy. We're talking about back end second, early third for this guy.
For
Now we're
startups,
talking.
for
Now we're
sure.
talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now if we were talking round 4, maybe
Okay.
sneaking to round 5 from times, then okay. But
Yeah.
remember this, man. David Montgomery is locked in to 16 plus touches every week. So worry level, I'm gonna say 2.
I'm not worried at all. I mean, you see it all the time. Rookies kind of like take their time. You even saw it with Bijan Robinson. Kind of take teams a little bit to just ease their rookies into it. I
I
think.
wish Jameer Gibbs got 16 touches.
I mean, I can see it happening. I just hope that he's not going to up in the same role that DeAndre Swift was in last year. Because I can see that happening. Sadly,
That's what I'm saying. People are not are forgetting the fact that Montgomery's there.
yeah. Oh, we saw that by ADP.
We try telling everybody we love Jameer Gibbs, but David Montgomery is the better value at ADP.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, but I've been preaching Montgomery, and well, the other one didn't hit. I won't address that one, but David Montgomery I've been drafting as like a RB2 late in drafts, and I think it's going to cash out.
Is there any more rapid fires you want to ask me about?
Dallas Goedert, 0 points on the thing. We covered Drake London. Yeah, I'm not worried about Goddard either. He was Jalen Hurts third, like on third down plays, the most targeted wide receiver. It's not even close, to be honest with you. So Dallas Goedert found his footing again. I think that covers all the big worries. I mean, the only other thing you can really touch on is Breece Hall with limited touches, but like even when he had the ball, it was fucking insane.
Welcome
He was
back,
dominating the field.
Welcome back, baby.
So the usage not great, but oh my god, he had what?
Can we before we continue? Can we talk about how on that 86-yard run, if Garrett Wilson threw one block, my boy was housing that touchdown instead of celebrating at the 30-yard line? Can we talk about that, please?
Talk to your boy. I don't know, man.
Anyway, all I'm saying is this: anybody that doubted, welcome back, Breece.
He was bad. Welcome back.
My fantasy ride or die. Welcome back, baby.
Got anything else you're worried about over there?
No. Let's do a rapid fire here. Okay, there is one worry. I will say this: out of all weeks possible to start DeAndre Swift, this week makes the most sense, right?
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
If we get a dud from DeAndre Swift, his value is shot.
It's going down. Yeah. I think it's detrimental, honestly. I mean, it depends on how they use him, but if you see Rashad Penny go from healthy scratch to the lead back and Swift still in that secondary role, chalk it up. Chalk it up.
But this also speaks volumes to how they feel about Kenny Gainwell. Congrats to Kenny Gainwell. So, on top of that, let's do this. Who do you got winning the game tonight?
This is a tough game. I know what argument you're going to make, so I'll let you do it.
Both didn't play well.
But neither of them did.
Yeah, so we got the Eagles.
The Eagles at least snuck out their game.
Let's talk about this. Vikings 3 turnovers in the red zone last week. Obviously, it's not ideal. Lose a 3-point game to Tampa Bay. Philly's banged up all over the field. You got Nakobe Dean hurt. You got James Bradbury not playing tonight. You got Reed Blankenship not playing tonight. I mean, you're banged up all over the field here. The only saving grace here, the D line, those boys are all intact, and that's the toughest part of their team. and you got Christian Darrisaw questionable. I don't know. I obviously haven't turned the thing on if he's playing tonight. And then you have Garrett Bradbury out at center.
Yeah.
It was a blowout last year. Skull Vikings, baby. I'm going with the Vikings. I got a feeling.
I've been kind of debating this for the last 3 hours because I know we always do this segment on our podcasts. Part of me wants to say Vikings, but I'm going Eagles. Just on the sole fact that if you think about it, the Eagles played Bill Belichick, one of the better defensive-minded coaches maybe ever. And this week he gets to come in at home, game one since the Super Bowl, and play the Vikings defense, which has been pretty bad the last few years. So I'm taking the Eagles in this one. I think JJ, to your point, you've kind of been throwing it out there. I think JJ gets his revenge game against Slay, but I still don't think that's enough. I think the Eagles are going to get cooking early in this game.
I'm going to tell you this, though. We are 0-1 on Thursday night segments. Thank you, Kansas City. You guys are awesome. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Kadarius Toney. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, Kadarius. Appreciate that.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks for the 5 drops, the 5 of the biggest drops I've ever seen wide receivers have. You guys are awesome over there. Thank you very much. Travis, please come back. On that note, you got to go different here because somebody's got to be 1-1. Somebody's going to be on 2.
This is true, yeah.
So on that note, it is about to be kickoff time. So let's get out of here. Ryan, anything you want to say to the people before we get out of here, buddy?
Yeah, first of all, enjoy that Thursday night game. Be a good one tonight, hopefully. And we just had our waiver wire article that's on RPO. And we've been writing a few articles over there, kind of helping contribute for yards per. So yards per is great. RPOfootball.com. Check out our stuff. Glad to have the platform. Thank you guys. Week in, week out.
Enjoy the Thursday night game, guys. On that note, we are out.